Season 1 of Off the Dribble, the Byron Scott Podcast, is brought to you by Neff Taco.
Well, hello there. It's just me and the world's best tasting vodka.
What's up, guys? It's your boy B. Scott. This is another edition of Off the Dribble. My guest today is one of the guys, you probably wouldn't believe this, but this guy's one of the nicest guys off the court and one of my dearest friends off the court and on the court, because he helped get me about 7,500 of those points that I got when I played. A four-time NBA champion. Man, this guy in college, I played against him, and he doesn't remember because we both old, but, played against him when I was a freshman. He was better known back in the day as Superman, and that name was given to him by the late, great Chick Hearns, no other than my main man, Kurt Rambis, as you guys know, Rambo, as we call him here. What's up, Kurt? How you doing, my brother?
I'm great.
Good to see you. I want to toast to this podcast today with another one of my great friends, and again, a member of the Showtime Lakers.
Nice.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So, Rambo, as we've been just sitting here, just kind of reminiscing a little bit, I want to take you back just a little bit. I want to go back to your college days. And a lot of people don't know this, but in college, when you left Santa Clara, you were the leading scorer in the history of that university. My freshman year, played against you guys, and I was like, this dude is shooting the ball, scoring, posting up and everything. Then, of course, 3 or 4 years later, I get to the Lakers, and you completely changed your game. You were drafted by the Knicks. So I understand why, because I know you always have been a team player. But when you got to the NBA, what made you say, I got to change my game to this style, especially with the Los Angeles Lakers?
I don't know if I changed my game. I always enjoyed rebounding, just part of being a big, and I always hated when somebody scored on me. So I think there's just a natural competitiveness in trying to play defense. And I went overseas, got drafted by the Knicks, played in Greece for parts of 1 year, and came back and was asked by several Laker personnel to come down and try out with the Lakers. It started off with Mike Tebow, who was a scout at the time, and then it went to Jerry West, and I kept telling them all no. That was the year they'd signed Mitch Kupchak to a 15-year deal. They had Jim Brewer on the team. They had Mark Landsberger on the team. So, why would you want me? So I just kept saying no. And I had a great opportunity, and I had every intention of going back to Greece and playing, and just figured that was my career, where I would be. But then Paul Westhead told me that he had seen me play in the summer league with the Knicks the prior summer, and Mike Tebow saw me playing up in San Francisco in a pro-am when I came back from Greece, and they were looking for a rebounder and a defender, somebody that could initiate the fast break to make life easier for gunners like you to score. So they were looking for somebody to do all the dirty work kind of thing. And if I came to camp and really focused on those areas, I'd have a decent chance of making the team. So I figured I'd give the NBA one last shot and just come down and try out with the Lakers. And I just focused on those areas because he wanted somebody to defend, rebound, outlet the ball, because he wanted to really initiate a fast break style of play. And that's what he was after. So I said, oh, all right, I can do that. That's my kind of thing. And I came to camp knowing that I could always go back to Greece, and I wasn't going to let any veteran, use me as a get ready for the season kind of guy. So I just came
whipping
in with the
boy,
intention
anything.
and just kicking the shit out of everybody. So they all thought I was nuts. So,
Yeah, we did too.
Yeah. So it was really interesting, a good opportunity. But I did tell several Laker personnel that no, I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
Finally, the coach called.
You know what, Kirk? It's funny because I had so much fun playing with you, because it was so much fun in practice. It was so much fun in the games because, like you said, you did all the dirty work. Never look for credit. The best, inbound I've ever seen in my life. Ball never hit the floor. When it went through the net, you were able to grab it, step out of bounds, hit Magic. He would be, coming up the court, and you got me and James on the wings flying, trying to get layups. And the thing that I remember about you is that you did everything with such pride. Like you said, defensively, you hated when people scored on you. You enjoyed the rebounding part. You enjoyed the dirty work, and you took a lot of pride in taking that ball out. Where did that kind of stem from?
I always like to run. I like that fast tempo style of basketball. So, and just being inside, the game was more centric around the basket when I played. So
Mhm.
you're always kind of there,
Mhm.
offensively or
Mhm.
defensively as a big. You're always around the basket, and getting a point guard that wanted to run, just getting the ball in, trying to play offense before the defense had a chance to get set. That only makes sense to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So you want to push the basketball. It's more fun to play that way. And if you've got a point guard like Magic, everything just seems to work. And he and I had such good synchronization on the
Mhm.
inbounds. I knew, I just read his defender, and wherever that guy was, we just made it work. And if he wasn't open, I was going to be stepping in bounds because I was already leaning towards the court.
Right.
So he had to make sure that he was open or understood where I was going to throw the ball. So it's it was fun to me. I enjoyed hearing the announcer that might say basket by an opposing player on
Mhm.
on the other team, and then turn around and say basket by Byron Scott within 2 seconds. And you can just see the other team going like, damn, they're on that high five.
Right.
Got scored on
Right.
again.
Right.
So I think we just wore everybody out with the pace that we played at because we never stopped.
No, I mean, like you said, our practices were so intense. It's funny because when I started coaching, I kind of took that same element to my coaching style. With my
Mhm.
teams, is that practice was going to be intense. Fierce competitiveness. We're gonna go at it. And I would always tell Chris Paul, I would always ask him. I said, "Why do you think practice is so tough?" He said, "Because it makes the game easy." And
Mhm.
that was the way we kind of looked at it back in the day. So did you really enjoy them practices that we had back in the day with Rouse, or did you just kind of see it as work? Because I pretty much know the answer, but I want to hear you
No,
say it.
I anytime you can get on the court and play, that's fun to
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
And I think the competitiveness that we all had, it was internal. I don't think it was anything that had to be brought out.
Right,
It
right.
existed in us already. So whether it was a shooting game for money, when Magic, you guys would throw
Right, right,
$100
right.
bills. Now I never got into any of that, but you guys throw money out there and before practice started, and whether it was practice or running drills or any sort of half court drill offensively or defensively, everybody wanted to be up on top.
Yeah.
So it was just part of the competitive nature of everybody. And Riley just kept putting us in these more and more competitive environments, and we just kept working and working and working until they kicked us out of a gym because we didn't have our own
Yeah,
practice
yeah,
facility.
yeah. We was at
We get
Loyola
kicked out
Marymount.
of-
We
got
had a
kicked
certain
out
amount of time.
had to get out before the girls volleyball
Right,
team
exactly.
came in. So it was fun. We didn't have anything else to do.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? There were no cell phones back then. We were just going home and didn't have our own weight facility or anything. And if we did have an opportunity to stick around and play, everybody did.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You'd play 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3,
Exactly.
just
Or
sit
shooting
there.
games or something. We did
Yeah,
something.
yeah, always.
Yeah. I remember we had a scrimmage, Kirk, and we were on opposite teams this day, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know if it was Mike McGill, whoever I was chasing, but you was setting some screens and you was knocking the shit out of me. And I said, "Rambo, that's fucking illegal screen, man. Quit hitting me with that screen." You just kind of looked at me with that grin, and 2 or 3 plays later, I come off again, you hit me with another one. I said, "Rambo, hey, I'm sick of that shit. Don't hit me with another." You said, "Those are the same screens I set for you in the game." And I said, "Okay, I'm good." Okay.
Yeah. Those are the
So
same screens that get you
That's
wide
right,
open.
that gets
in
me
the
wide
game.
open. So I appreciated what you used to do back in the day, just so you
How
know.
do you want me to set these picks? Just like that.
Just the way
dude.
you've been setting them in practice.
That's right.
We're gonna go to, you had this damn elbow pad. I know you remember this pad. You had this elbow pad and you had the rim glasses.
Mhm.
And the rim glasses became famous, obviously, when Chick said, Superman, is here, and you had your Clark Kent type look. And then I remember looking on courtside after that, for games, and you had a Kurt Rambis fan base that was unbelievable. What did you think about that? Because I thought it was so cool that you wasn't Magic, you wasn't Kareem, but you had an unbelievable fan base of people that loved the way you played the game.
Well, in the beginning, I was actually embarrassed about it because I didn't like wearing glasses. Glasses now are like cool.
Right.
People wear them as a
Right.
fashion statement and everything, but not when I grew up. You were
A
you were
nerd.
4 eyes, a nerd, a dork. You know what I mean? So you know how cruel kids can be.
Right.
So I took a lot of ribbing when I was a kid, and my dad. We loved to play sports, and I had the glasses, or you're always getting hit in the face. You're always wrestling, football, baseball, whatever. And he got tired of fixing the glasses, and we finally went to an optometrist and said, do you have any indestructible glasses? And they said, well, we just got these in. He stuck them on my face and go, yeah, you wear these now. And it's like, I'm mortified because now not only am I wearing glasses, I'm wearing some ugly crap on my face too. But I love to play sports, so it was the only course that I had. So I remember putting glasses on the first time in my life, and I like, oh damn. You were supposed to read those signs across the street. I didn't even know you could see them, So my whole world changed when I ended up getting glasses. But going back to the Rambis youth, I thought they were mocking me,
Okay.
So I thought they were kind of teasing me. And I asked Lon Rosen if he could set up a meeting with them in the Forum Club. And I was going to politely ask them to kind of knock it off, you know what I mean, in as nice a way as possible. But when I walked through the door, you would have thought Jesus Christ had walked through the door. I mean, they were just so complimentary.
They loved you, huh?
Yeah. And they just enjoyed my style and what I did for the team and everything. And they were such huge fans. And so I quickly changed course with what I was going to say. Thank you guys very much. I love your support.
Can you keep doing it? Keep it to the games.
So I think, and they were enjoying around because they'd walk around.
Oh, they were loving it during our warm-ups. You would just see them just lined up right there. They had the shirts on, they had the glasses on. Their hair was almost all the same. They were blonde. It was so. I thought it was so cool. When I first saw it, and I thought, it was a tribute to you and the way that you played the game, and they were just showing respect. So,
well, I should be a fan of at least one of theirs. I think he owns Coachella. Oh, so
yeah. He's doing well.
Yeah, he's a smart one.
He's probably the one that organized all that stuff in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Kurt, back in the day, we wasn't the most. How should I put this? Stylish team in the NBA. We were casual. We kind of, done our thing. We had guys that would dress up when we went certain places. And then we got our own, no, we didn't even have our own charter plane at that time. We started playing all the,
you can call it that. It's called American.
American Delta United. Yeah. We had first class. That's about it.
Yeah.
But I remember when Rouse put in the dress code, and I remember Rambo because you used to come to the game, you had your cut off jeans and, just real casual, So you really didn't agree with the dress code that much, did you? You didn't like it.
No. Riley liked to get dressed up. I mean, his styling and the hair and the perfection, his own design of clothes and everything. And now he's
Pat Riley collars,
try and put this on us when we were a real casual team, like you
we
said,
were,
and then he said that we had to start wearing sports coats on the road. And it's like, okay, all right, I'll show you sports coat. I went out and bought one tan corduroy sports coat.
And wore it the whole time with the patches.
With the patches on, and wore it every single flight. It didn't match anything. Okay, you want a sport coat? Here you go. So
that was you being defiant at the time.
Basically, yeah.
But you did it.
I've got that nature.
Yeah, every now and then. All right, let's go back to our fierce rivalry, the Boston Celtics back in the day. And we all know how much we hated them and they hated us. And, when you look at the 30-30 and you know that, Danny Ainge and Larry Bird told Kevin McHale he got to get more physical and tough. And then you come down on the right side, you get a pass, you're going up for a layup, and Kevin McHale basically takes you out. I know you, and I know all the other guys knew when you got up, it was gonna be I'm gonna kill you type thing. And Clever, kind of pushed you out the way. I mean, I know what was on your mind, but tell us all, when he clotheslined you like that, what was on your mind?
Well, first of all, it was survival. I mean, because the last thing I kind of saw
was your feet in the air.
It was my foot. It looked like it almost hit the rim.
Yeah.
So I'm coming down, and I hit the ground, and I'm thinking I'm going to land on my head or my neck or something and really get hurt. So there was a little bit of fear. I mean, these are all split-second thoughts that are going on my head, but the way I landed, I probably couldn't have landed more perfect to avoid an injury.
Right. A major injury.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't get the wind knocked out of me.
Right.
I didn't have, there was nothing sore. So I got up and I saw Kevin McHale, and the scrum was kind of happening over at the Celtic bench. And I'm just going to go run and jump and throw a fist as hard as I can. Just wring his neck out there, do whatever I could to get back at him. Because that's just, it's not a basketball play.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I, and in hindsight over years and everything that have gone by, I really don't think that Kevin had any intention to do that. That's just not who he is as a person or anything. But when I got up, I'm looking at him. I'm not looking at James in front of me.
Right.
But he senses me starting to run by him, and he kind of, feels a body and then just shoves me, and I end up tripping over some photographers. And then by then I'm so freaking tired.
Can't get back up and go get him anyway, huh?
Well, Larry Bird ended up coming over and helping me up. And it's like all this scrum is happening and people are pushing and shoving, and Larry and I are just going, screw it. Let's just walk over here. The funny thing about that whole episode was that I just go to the free throw line and shoot my 2 free throws, and the game goes on.
Right.
No replay, no ejections, no fines, no nothing. You just go back and play.
Yeah. So what do you think of the state of basketball now? I mean, when you look at the way we played back then, and the fouls, the physical play, because there wasn't a whole lot of there wasn't no flagrant fouls back then. It was like you just said, that foul right there. Today's game, you're thrown out, you suspended. Today, back in our day, that's just a regular foul. You go to the free throw line. What do you think about the state of the game now and the physicalness of the game and the way it's played?
Well, the game is always evolving and changing. So, you got to respect the fact that the game does change. And if you probably look at players that played in the 50s or 60s, they would call us wimps when we played. Because there were all out brawls back then. There were a lot of, and they'd go in the stands and everything, but none of that was on television or tape or anything. And prior to that, you see the game evolve and people innovate things. The first person that shot a jump shot was like, everybody's like, what?
Instead of one of those set shots,
exactly.
Pushing it.
So things are always changing, and you got to look at the league too. There's so much money involved with the players, and they are entertainers,
right.
And they bring tremendous value to the team. So trying to lessen the amount of the physical nature of the game where players could possibly get hurt, that's what the league is trying to avoid. And I completely understand that and agree with that. If you're trying to win a championship like the Lakers are every year, you get a couple of guys hurt and your whole season gets turned around. So avoiding injury and having players be available for as many games as possible so that they can entertain the fans, television and in person, that's the idea behind, making sure that the game is as safe as possible.
Yeah. Los Justiceros is your premium personal injury law firm serving the state of California. They have a no-fee guarantee, which means if you don't win your case, you don't pay anything. La Justiceros specializes in all kinds of accidents, from rideshare, motorcycles, semi-trucks, delivery trucks like Amazon and FedEx, and even slips and falls. They will make sure you get the treatment and compensation you deserve. So if you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, before you do anything, make sure you call La Justiceros at 213-320-6305. That's 213-320-6305. They're available 24/7 to help you and your loved ones. If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
I know you went to Phoenix. I know you went to Charlotte. I know you went to a couple of teams.
When I left the Lakers first, I signed as a free agent with the Charlotte Hornets, the original Charlotte Hornets as an expansion franchise.
Okay. Then you went to Phoenix.
I was traded to
Phoenix. Okay. Because I remember playing against you in the playoffs when you were with Phoenix, and this vision that I had would never.
What was it? Did we beat you? Oh yeah, that's right. We did beat you.
Yeah. I was about to say this vision will never leave my mind of you with a Phoenix Suns uniform on, beating us in a 7-game series at the Forum. When you close it out at the Forum, and I remember looking over and I saw Linda. And I can remember how happy she was, and she's jumping up and down. And I was pissed, but I was happy. You know what I mean? I was pissed that we lost, but I was happy that you were the one to do it. In other words, how did that feel to leave an organization where you had so much success? You know, you go to Charlotte, you get traded to Phoenix, you play us in the playoffs, you win. How did that feel?
Yeah, and anytime I was away from the Lakers, I always wanted the Lakers to win. I always wanted them for you guys to have tremendous success, except when I was playing.
That's that competitive nature again. That's how we do it.
Absolutely. You know, and I would expect nothing less of you guys too.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's just the way we think in our mentality. So it was, mostly sweet.
Yeah.
99.999 sweet. Maybe just a tinge of bitterness that we beat the Lakers, but it was very fulfilling. You know, we had a pretty good team that year in Phoenix, and we had a chance to win a championship, but we fell short.
Yeah. Then you go from playing, just like we both have, to the coaching ranks. You know, how was that transition for you when you went from playing for so many years in the NBA to now coaching? Because I know for me, I had to worry about me when I was playing. When you're coaching, you got to worry about 10, 12 other guys. How was that transition for you?
Well, it was Del Harris, who was coaching the Lakers at the time, really created a position for me. So I had a nice transition from playing to coaching. It's kind of a special assistant coach where I would come in and help before practice, after practice, and before games. And I was also doing some broadcast work for Fox. So I'd go out and work out guys before a game, run in, take a shower, come back out in
with your suit, get ready.
And I'm still sweating because I'm all hot and I'm sweating out there. You know, the lights, right, and do a pregame show, and then go and watch the ball game. So it was just a nice transition. I still got to play. I still played in practice, and I still kept myself in shape. And then Michael Cooper left the team, and Dell asked me if I wanted to stay in broadcasting or if I wanted to get into coaching. And I thought I could always get back into broadcasting if I want, but this is a good coaching opportunity, and that's how it happened.
So when you got your first head coaching job, how was that? I mean, to be, obviously that's 6 inches as we talk about over is a totally different, animal, because every decision now is based on you and what you want to do. So how was that transition?
Well, the first one was rough because that was when Dell got fired during the lockout year, and we'd lost 5 or 6 games in a row. And Dell, I remember we were up in Vancouver, and we'd lost 3 in a row. And he goes, "Well, gentlemen, nothing good in the NBA happens when you lose 3 games in a row." And it's like, I didn't know that.
Right. I guess especially when you're in the Lakers organization.
Absolutely. So they ended up letting Dell go and giving me the opportunity to finish out that year. So it was tough trying to bring Kobe and Shaq together, and get them to understand how they could have tremendous success playing together. But they were both young and still trying to figure out who they were and how the game was to be played. One of them wanted to play one way, another one wanted to play another way. Right. So just trying to get them, and that it was a lockout year, so we didn't have practice. And then we also made a trade, Eddie Jones and Eldon Campbell. And so that kind of disrupted things a little bit, but it opened up more opportunities for Kobe to play. So I understood why they did that. But Eddie was my really good defender, my veteran defender, and Eldon was my backup center and power forward. So we lost, to me, in terms of having the talent to really win at that point in time. I understand Kobe's development, which made perfect sense, but the pieces to win at that time disappeared. And we ended up signing Glenn Rice, who was coming off of elbow surgery. And for a guy that was a shooter, he couldn't make a shot that year.
I guess the elbow surgery has something to do with that, huh?
So, I turned to Dave Wall, who coached him in Miami, and I said, "Dave, is he ever going to make a shot?" I think he had one good game while I was coaching. And Dave goes, "I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen him miss this many shots." So, and Dennis Rodman came in too. So there was a lot to deal with in my first coaching stint during that lockout year. And quite frankly, I wasn't ready.
Mhm.
It was kind of thrust upon me. I wanted it. I
Right.
thought I wanted it.
Right.
But there's a lot more that goes into coaching than you think at that point in time. So there was just a lot to absorb with the transition, the expectations, and all of that came into it. And unfortunately, that's when they ended up letting me. Well, unfortunate for me, fortunate for the Lakers, they ended up bringing in Phil Jackson after that. So,
But you had another stint,
mhm.
right? You got an opportunity.
This was after Phil and
Yep.
everything, been
You got an
coaching.
opportunity.
I worked in the Lakers front office for a little bit, and then got back into coaching as assistant coach, and got an opportunity to go and coach the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Mhm.
And when I was talking to them, I almost felt like I was trying to talk them out of hiring me. Because what are our expectations?
Right.
Who's in charge? Who
Right.
gets to make decisions here, and all of that? And I heard everything that I wanted to hear, but unfortunately for me, that didn't stay that way once I got the job. So, you and I both know if you want to win in this league, you got to have talent. You
Gotta have
get-
players.
That's just
I
the
don't
way
give
it
I don't
goes.
give a damn how great your X's and O's are and how great your game plan is. If you don't have talent, it don't matter.
Yeah. But I mean, it was still an incredible, enjoyable experience for me, coaching wise and everything. And I felt like as a coaching staff, we developed the young players that were
Mhm.
there. I think over the 2 years that I was there, we had 22 different players on the team. So those
Jesus.
guys were always going in and out. It was a revolving door.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we never got Ricky Rubio there. So, there was a chance. I wasn't there for the draft when Johnny Flynn and Steph Curry were possible draft
Right,
picks. You
right,
know what I mean? So
right.
it was Rubio and Johnny Flynn, but they could have had Steph
Curry,
too. So
yeah.
if you think of Steph and Rubio in there, and Kevin Love was there, and I was talking with DeMarcus Cousins the other day at a wedding, and I wanted to draft him because I'm seeing Rubio, I'm seeing Kevin Love, I'm seeing DeMarcus Cousins, and I'm thinking, okay, the game was played. You got
Yeah.
two bigs, inside, outside, a point guard that can really
They can
deliver the
do- yeah,
basketball.
yeah.
But Rubio never came. We ended up drafting Wes Johnson instead as a wing, and passed up on DeMarcus Cousins.
Wow.
So, things like that kind of spell your coaching
Yeah.
career.
It's a what's the saying on ESPN? It's a hit or miss league, right? If you miss on that player, it's like, oh damn, it's
No, but
almost over sometimes.
We felt good about the structure and organization that we had on the team, and the guys learned, and we feel like the players evolved and developed and grew, and but when you run plays and guys get wide open shots,
They
and
can't
miss
make 'em.
It's like, okay,
It don't matter.
So,
Rambo, give me the top 3 players that you had to defend back in the day that you had the most trouble with.
that's
me the-
impossible.
No, it ain't. You can. Well, I know your memory is not what it used to be, but you can just think about this. Give me the top 3.
Because it's the power forward position back then, and Kareem, and then when I was in Phoenix, it was Charles Barkley, and with Kareem, it was like, well, who do you don't want to guard? Okay, well, that's the guy I got to guard. And same thing with Barkley. I don't want to guard that guy, so I got to guard him. So it would range from somebody like Alex English or Bernard King. So now I'm chasing around a smaller kind of 3 kind of guy, and then I'd have to guard Artis Gilmore or Moses Malone on a different night. So guys that were a lot bigger and stronger than I was. So that variance, was every day it was something new that I had to
Right.
defend. Charles Barkley won, on a different night. So to name the top 3,
It's impossible. I can see where you can
see
say
what I
that.
mean?
Yeah, I
I
can
mean,
see where
it's
you
like
say that because your range was different.
yeah, it's but I do remember, I didn't like people touching me, and I felt somebody hit me in a game from behind, and I threw an elbow like that, and all I heard was this giant voice behind me, and the Artis Gilmore grabbed both of my shoulders like this, and he just went, now, Kurt," and he just picked me up and moved me over to the side. My bad, Artis. I'm sorry.
It's funny to hear from you. You talk about you didn't like being touched,
Yeah,
but
no.
you like hitting people.
Well, that's that. I'm hitting you, so
Yeah,
you don't touch
you
me.
don't touch. Okay, so big artists who, and for me, it was funny because you know me back in the day. I used to love trying to dunk on big dudes, you know. And the problem with trying to dunk on artists is not only he was big, but he's left-handed. So I'm going with the right. His left is the perfect, you know. I could never, and he would just block and say, Byron, you're not going to dunk on me. You know, with that boy, it was the nicest can be.
Yeah, it was incredibly nice.
You're not going to dunk on me. You know, I was like, dang, I tried to get him so much, but some guys you just can't get.
I mean, even Elijah wants somebody that's big and strong, but
And
athletic
quick and fit. Yeah.
Jeez, trying to figure. So, I mean, you know, with guys, I just tried to take away or make them do something that I felt like I could control.
Yeah.
You know, like with Elijah, all I wanted him to do was take a turnaround, fadeaway jump shot. That's, you know, hey,
Get
if
him
you're
away from the
making
basket.
those, I'm okay. Yeah, you're going away from the basket. Wasn't always successful. But that was kind of the goal.
He was pretty damn good.
Yeah,
He was pretty damn good. All right. Favorite question. I mean, this is one of my favorite questions. I've asked James, Coop, AC, Cap, your favorite Laker team. Out of all the teams you had that we played together with, what was your favorite team?
Well, it had to be a team that Bob McAdoo was on, just because he was so funny.
See, that's a good one because I forgot about how crazy Dude was and how funny he was back in the day.
Bob McAdoo, and to this day, Bob McAdoo could beat anybody at anything. I mean, he could beat the greatest tennis players in tennis. Yeah, I could get in a Formula One car and win a race. Like, no problem. Yeah,
he could beat Usain Bolt in 100 meter, 200 meter race. You know,
didn't matter. Yeah,
that was him.
And Kareem having battles and stuff like that. He even told me a few years ago that Pat Riley down in Miami made him stop playing the guys one-on-one because he was always beating them and he was sucking the confidence out of their players.
I believe that's
a true story.
I believe that Dude believes that Riles really told him that or something
absolutely.
like that. Yeah, I believe that. Okay, let me ask you this. The 2021 Laker team. A lot of buzz, you know, with the signing of, you know, Russell, and their age, you know, obviously AD coming back healthy.
Experience.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I mean, I don't get the problem with everybody talking about they're old and all this stuff. Like you just said, I think experience has always been the best teacher. Your outlook this year for the 2021 Lakers. What do you think?
It's, you know, when we sat down, Rob, Linda, Jeannie, and I sat down and we were looking and putting this team together and the opportunities that we had, we feel, and this is the way I've always looked at it, you know, you got to have talent to win.
Absolutely.
And we want to give our team a chance to win. And even, you know, the first year we won a championship, putting a team together. Last year derailed by injuries.
Yeah.
That was 2 seasons, but it felt like one incredibly long season. Right. Just didn't have a break. And the guys had a lot of time off, you know, so the energy is back, and having the talent and experience that we have on our ball club, we give our team a chance to win. And you never know what's going to happen. But, you know, every player, coach, organization says, I want to win a championship.
Yeah, everybody says that. Yeah, there's only one team that's going to do it.
Absolutely. But there's really only a handful of teams that really have a chance.
Yeah, I agree.
And we're one of those teams that has a legitimate chance to win. And that's just the way I look at it. We got good coaches. We got good players. That combination is going to give us a chance to win. So outlook for us, hopefully, it's going to be winning another championship.
Yeah.
We got to get 18. We got to get above the Celtics.
Who you telling? I'm with you right there, 100%. Yeah. You have played with some of the greatest players in the history of this game. You played with Cap. You played with James. You played with Irv. Now you're around another guy that's, you know, Kobe, Shaq. You know, you've been around all these guys. Now you're around another one, LeBron James. And I still, you know, make this statement. They talk about the greatest players of all time. To me, still Kareem is the greatest of all time. Where do you see LeBron James in that conversation of greatest players of all time?
Yeah, I always feel like it's unfair to try and compare guys of different eras. Because like we were talking about earlier, the game changes, rules change, you know, systems change. So it's very unfair how the game is refereed. to really compare guys and who's the greatest, who's the best. And, there's probably a bowl of guys that, you could make an argument for just about any of them to be the greatest of all time. And LeBron is certainly up there with those guys. He's got a legitimate chance to be the leading scorer in NBA history, which is an incredible accomplishment. And Kareem would be one of the first to tell you that he would love to see that happen, kind of thing. So, but you have these rare players, and they have to have this incredible combination of everything. They've got to have the mentality of the game. They got to have a high basketball IQ. They've got to be driven. They've got to have a work ethic, competitiveness, a nastiness about them, longevity in their career. They avoid injuries and everything. But they have this passion, this burning desire to be great. So, and all of the talent, the athleticism, and it's rare that you see guys that have all of that.
Right.
So, so that bowl is going to have multiple players in it that have all of those characteristics, and LeBron is certainly one of those guys. And it's a rarity because there's a lot of guys. The history of the NBA is littered with guys that, hey, I was a hard worker, but I didn't have athleticism.
Right.
You know what I mean? And some guys are just, they don't have the size. They're just not big enough. They've got everything else about them. They're just not big enough to play in the NBA. So it's that rare individual that has a combination of all of those characteristics that really separate them from just about everybody else.
But you would say, if you had to say, with LeBron James, and he is definitely in that conversation.
Oh no, there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that.
I agree with you. Kurt, last question. I told you about this one earlier. What's one story that you love to tell, but not a whole lot of people know about it? And I know you, it's either something funny or something nasty. It's one of the two. It's one of the two. It's something funny or something nasty. I don't know which one it's going to be, but it's one of those two.
This story, when I tell it, really set my career off. I was, and it's a combination of stories. It's probably two. They go hand in hand. When I was, when Mitch Kupchak went down, Pat Riley had tried not Byron. He tried Magic. He tried Landsberger. He tried Brewer at the power forward position. And we were in Indiana and we were playing against Herb Williams, and Herb Williams is just lighting up Mark Landsberger. And Pat is getting furious that Mark is trying to shoot the ball and he's not defending. I
don't remember Mark being a shooter. I remember him at edge shooter. I don't remember him being a shooter.
So, and I think Pat, more than anything else, to get Mark out of the game, and I hadn't been playing at that time. He points down the bench. He goes, "You." And I'm not even paying attention. I know he's not going to put me in the game. I'm just watching the game. And he finally goes, "You get in there." So I'm taking off my stuff and I'm running in the ball game. And I was just going to play defense, not focus on offense, try and rebound the ball. I went out there and shut down Herb Williams and ended up starting the rest of the year. And that was the 81-82 season. We won a championship that year. So, but to digress, and I had always thought that when I came to the Lakers training camp that season, the 81-82 season, they had increased rosters from 11 men to 12 men, which gave me an opportunity to make the team. That I went down to training camp and I thought I played really well. I did what I was asked to do, and I thought I'd made the team on my own merits, kind of thing. So decades go by that this is how I think I ended up making the team. And I'm talking to Paul Westhead just a few years ago. And he tells me, he goes, "Kurt, I got to tell you something. When I was putting the team together and I asked you to come down. Now you got to remember, I got a mustache.
I
I
remember.
Hair. I don't fit in. I don't fit in. It's like, I was like, what is he doing here?" But he said that he put me on the roster ahead of Magic, ahead of Kareem, because Jerry Buss and Jerry West had said, "Why is that guy here?" And he said it felt like they were questioning my basketball knowledge and how to put a team together.
Oh,
So
okay.
just out of like, I'm going to show you guys why I do the things that I do. So I was thinking for years, I'd gone down there and done a good job, and it was more just to piss off the two judges. And that's my whole career in a nutshell.
Oh, that's a good one, Kurt. Paul Westhead was a great coach.
Yes,
I mean,
he was.
really, a lot of people don't give him enough credit for creating that fast tempo. You know, I mean, he really kind of brought that to the NBA. Then obviously went to college and brought it to the college, you know, to the college level as well.
Yep.
Coach does not get enough credit, you know, and I just want to say that. But I also want to thank my man Kurt Rambis for coming on the show today, man. Rambo, it's always good to see you.
Yes. You too,
And
brother.
man, it's good to kind of reminisce and go back a little bit.
I really only came to see your wife.
Oh,
So
well, you know,
she
I mean-
forced me to come in here and talk to you.
Oh,
but-
again, huh? Well, you know, when I was calling Linda to get this set up, you know, so we good.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
good,
Okay.
yeah. Linda's my girl. That's
Yeah.
we good. We good. Hey guys, this is Off the Dribble with your boy Byron Scott. Again, I want to thank my guest Kurt Rambis, one of my favorite people of all time. Until the next time, guys, we'll see you later.